It's Friday, October 9th, 2020. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you have already subscribed, make sure you hit the bell notification so that you are alerted with the newest video. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with everybody you know. Please, I would really appreciate that. I want to get right into this video today. So much happening. What we saw today was very incredible, but I just kind of want to recap this past week and what I see happening and what I'm doing. I'm going to share it with you. And after I leave here, I'm going out, I'm heading down the street a couple miles, and I'm going to go buy a bunch of brass because security is going to be such an important asset. So that's my next stop. But I want to share with you what I've done this week and my plan here. This week, just watching the volatility of these markets. Today, Dow Jones up 161 points. Right here, I'm looking at CNBC. And we've got gold up $41 today, silver up $1.41. I mean, just think about those numbers. A $41 jump in gold, $1.61 in silver, all knowing that the stimulus is coming at some point. It didn't happen today. It probably may not even happen this year as I predicted, but more than likely it's going to happen very early in 2021. But at the end of the day, the stimulus is coming, and it's coming by the trillions. The president came back willing to do 1.8 trillion, close to 1.9 trillion dollars of stimulus, but no agreement. So, but the markets know it's coming. And this is extremely dangerous. It may be good for the stock market, the weakening dollar, all the money printing, all the debt creation, great for the stock market for the time being. But this is so dangerous for the US economy. It's so dangerous for the future of America. And it's so imperative that you protect yourself for what is coming. This is massive debt creation by the boatloads, okay? It is going nuclear. Trillions of more dollars are going to be printed. We are going to see more inflation, hyperinflation coming. You must be protecting yourself. This week, I bought brass, I bought precious metals, and I bought mining stocks. That's what I did. And I believe that if you pick the right mining stocks, look, mining stocks, very volatile. Many of these mining companies are losers. And so you got to pick the right ones. And so you got to be really careful. There's no guarantee. We're talking about risk and volatility when it comes to mining stocks. But if you believe in gold, if you believe in silver like I do, we are going to see huge profits, huge upswing in the mining stocks. If you have a couple dollars and you're willing to risk it, I would definitely look into that. But the priority should be holding the physical gold, holding the physical silver before risking money in the mining stocks. But if you've covered your bases with physical metals, you have a few dollars lying around, you might want to educate yourself with some of these mining stocks because there's going to be huge profits with these mining companies, no doubt about it. What was interesting today is Dow Jones up 161, and we see gold up $41, and we see silver up $1.41, going up with the market. And this stuff's on sale, ladies and gentlemen. But what is coming with all this stimulus, they're going to push the pedal to the metal with money printing. And you've got to be protecting your wealth. Wealth protection is so important. These markets are going to overheat with this melt up at some point. Your currency is being devalued every day. I read today that in 1913, a dollar is worth $26 today. Just think about the inflation that is going on. Yet that ounce of silver, that ounce of gold back in 1913 still buys the same goods and services today, still has the same buying power, but your dollar has been absolutely vaporized. And if you're sitting on a lot of dollars, very risky. The dollar is coming to the point where it's one of the worst investments you can have. But I do believe you got to have some. But at some point, the dollar is going to continue to be worth less and less. It's worth something until it's not. So be very careful. But after I leave here, I'm going back. I'm going to buy more brass. A lot of people writing me, telling me how much it's costing in their state. So I'm going to go buy more tonight so I can use that for more training this coming week. We'll put that on our next Patreon. But just absolutely crazy. Also, 840,000 jobless claims came in. So we got the Thursday numbers came in. Jobless claims for last week, first time unemployment benefits claims, 840,000. And I'm watching a couple of the business channels this morning. Nobody even said a word. Okay, so that's almost another million people last week filing first-time unemployment claims here in the U.S. and nobody even talks about it. All they talk about is why you need to be getting in these markets. All they talk about is how great things are going to be, continuing to pump up these bubbles. What we are going to see when these bubbles burst is going to be so catastrophic. It is going to affect every man, woman, and child in America for many, many years. And you've got to be protecting yourselves. People continue to ask me where I'm buying my metals from. SD Bullion. I have a link down below. I don't care where you buy it from. I don't care who you buy it from. I don't really care if you buy it or not. I'm doing it, and I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. But I had so many people over a year ago tell me I should buy from SD Bullion. I did. I love the company. Prices are great. They get it to me quickly. And I've been a fan and a client ever since. So if you're looking for a great company with great prices, SD Bullion, link down below. But you can go to your coin shop, pawn shop, jeweler, coin dealer, online, offline, whatever. But I think that this is the most important time to be holding real money, to be holding God's money, to be holding real hard, tangible assets like gold and silver. So it's something to think about. I bought more precious metal this week, as I said, and at these prices, I'll be buying more probably in the next couple weeks, because watching this melt up and watching how fast metals can go up while the market is going up is just a reminder of how volatile things are and why you better have them. And when I see 840,000 jobless claims, yet again, 8 months into this depression, we are still bleeding nearly 1 million jobs a week and nobody talks about it. You better be your own central bank, because you are going to be responsible for you. Pelosi says there will be no standalone aid for airlines without bigger stimulus bills. She said that yesterday. We got nothing today. What is scary is these airlines wanting billions of dollars more, using the employees as pawns, as hostages if they don't get it, that we're going to see massive unemployment hit America. We're already seeing it. Could you imagine when the airlines continue to lay off tens of thousands of people? The hemorrhaging that we're going to see is just going to continue. So I want to share a couple articles with you. This one was on CNN. And it's titled, "The U.S. debt is now projected to be larger than the U.S. economy." These are more reasons to be stacking precious metals. The Hedge today, top Fed economist says another $3.5 trillion in QE is needed. Yesterday, Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, he says, I don't see any moral hazard here when asked about the Fed's massive liquidity injections have blown a bubble. This is a natural disaster hitting the economy, he says. We should err on the side of generosity. This isn't a natural disaster. This is a disaster that was created by the Fed and the big banks here in America. This is not natural what we are seeing take place. But what's their answer? More liquidity, meaning more debt creation, trillions and trillions more of quantitative easing and helicopter money. But remember, a majority of that money is not going to you or I or small or medium business. It's going to the airlines. It's going to big corporate America. It's going to the big banks. It's going to the 0.0001% who are getting all the advantages. And so this is going to be devastating for America. When are we going to stop worrying about all this debt creation, all this debt, which we don't even worry about, but this is our fix. The only way we can fix this now is with the printing press. More helicopter money, more quantitative easing, more debt creation. That's the answer to all this. No, we need to open things up. We need to get people back to work. We need to start manufacturing. We need to start producing and making things here other than consumption. Maybe we should start talking about that. Maybe we better start talking about how we're going to have to tighten up our belts. Maybe we're going to have to make some sacrifices here in America and start getting back to work. Maybe we're going to have to lower our standard of living a little bit. See, people are living beyond their means. This country is living beyond its means. The government is living beyond its means. Everybody and everything is living on a credit card. And sooner or later, we're starting to see reality coming to America with all this unemployment, all of these job losses, all of these businesses closing. We're seeing economic problems now in America that cannot be hidden like they once were. They can manipulate the numbers all they want, but we all know people that are out of work. We all know somebody that's lost a business. We all see the for sale and for lease signs. This is reality, and this they cannot manipulate. This they cannot cover up. When I go down and I see vacant buildings all over my county for sale signs, that cannot be hidden. And look, the consensus out there is that things are getting worse. I'm hearing rumors now that things are going to be shut down again in the next couple of weeks here in Southern California. Restaurants, gyms, the non-essential. So Walmart will remain open, Target, Costco, all the fast food restaurants will remain open. They're essential, but your business is non-essential. Your job is non-essential. Another article, survey finds that 1 out of every 5 Americans could be out of money by election day. This is really scary stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that people are literally hanging on by a string at this point and falling farther and farther deeper into debt. Look, these moratoriums, these mortgage forbearances, auto loan forbearances. Look, this stuff's all going to run out at some point in 2021. Then what are they going to do? I mean, how long can we continue to print money? We can print as long as we can until we no longer can, until the money becomes worthless. In 1913, a dollar bought a lot more than it does today. It takes $26 today in 2020 to equal the purchasing power of a dollar in 1913. When that loaf of bread is $10 or $15, we're gonna have big trouble. And we're seeing the issue now of food shortages, food lines, people not having enough food. Again, they cannot paper over what is happening in real life. The 50 richest Americans are worth as much as the poorest 165 million in America. This is, again, wealth inequality. We're seeing opportunity inequality. We're seeing a Great Depression. We're seeing a divide. Something really horrendous is about to happen in America, and you better be preparing all the way across the board. Gold and silver isn't going to save you. It's going to help you financially. It's going to give you buying power. It's going to give you opportunity to buy things. But you need your own food, your own water, your own security, your own medicine, your own trauma kit, your own assets. You need to be your own asset. Look, you need to be diversified across the board with all this in real life, not just your investments, but your real life. Are you an asset? Do you know how to do something? Do you have all preparations of food and water and all the other ingredients that go along with it? Because just having food and water isn't going to save you. Just having gold isn't going to save you. Just having the skill set of knowing how to do something is going to help you. All that is great, but it takes 4 wheels on a car to get down the road, and you need to have 4 wheels. You need to be very well balanced across the board. Another article in The Hedge today, McDonald's had its best month in nearly a decade in September. Well, of course, who can afford to go out to eat? Or your local restaurant could only service at 25% capacity, so most of the restaurant was closed, or it was closed. So people are forced to go through the drive-thrus. They're forced to go to the McDonald's. People in this country, I've noticed, are getting more obese as they're eating more garbage food, as now they're being forced to have less options. So it's fast food drive-thrus. They're open. My local restaurants here are at 25% capacity. That's all they can operate at. Not even 50. They're operating at 25%. So most people just are not going out to dinner. They're going to the drive-thrus. They're getting the cheap food. They're becoming more unhealthy. And who I really feel sorry for is the young children, because mom and dad, somebody might have lost a job. Maybe mom and dad both lost a job. Maybe one person lost a job. But that's, if one person in your family lost a job, that's a 50% loss in income. So where are they going to eat? They're going to McDonald's. They're going to fast food. And so we're going to see health consequences here too with all of this. Going back to the 840,000 job losses, this is going to have ramifications too, because how are people going to borrow money when banks aren't going to lend to insolvent households? Now your household, your husband or wife lost a job, so that's 50% less income. Now you can't borrow as much. banks aren't going to be lending to zombie companies or small businesses because of the risk now. Credit expansion, we're going to see credit expansion go on life support here in America. And that's something we don't really talk about. But when credit dries up, that's a big, big problem. The Fed cannot create low risk, high profit investment opportunities, nor can it make poor credit risk into good credit risk. Now, the Fed is signaling that it will funnel free money directly to households after years of enriching the wealthy in zombie companies. So we're hearing more and more that the Fed now is just going to send money into people's accounts. But this isn't going to work. They can't control small businesses that have fixed costs, such as taxes and fees that continue to rise. They can send you $1,200. They can send me $1,200. It's not going to fix the economy. The damage is so extensive now that there's no way the Fed can even print enough money now to save everybody. The free money flow is not going to be going into productive investments, but into demand for goods and services. So it's going to help people go out and shop. But man, at $1,200, people are so in debt now. Are they actually going to go out and spend it? Yeah, some people will. They will spend it on goods and services. But these goods and services have been constrained by declines in trade, high fixed production costs, retirement of its key workers. The money's not going to stretch like it once did, and people are so far behind. They're acquiring so much debt now that they're not going to go out and spend as much on goods and services, like, for example, going out and Christmas shopping. If they got a $1,200 check today, maybe they'll spend some of it on Christmas, but most of it's already going back to what they owed last month or the month before. Inflation will keep surprising everyone who believed the low inflation story. As inflation soars, the purchasing power of the federal government will plummet, and so will yours. Small businesses won't be able to pay higher wages to survive. They're just not going to be able to afford to pay people, period, because their costs, their taxes, their permits, their licensing, their overhead is strangling them right now. You know, a restaurant must be operating at 100% to make a profit. It can't operate at 80% and make a profit, and it certainly can't operate at 25 or 50%. Toronto condo supply surges, listings skyrocket 215% while rental prices crash. This is what's happening in Toronto right now. Another bellwether to what we're going to start seeing in housing here in America. The only thing keeping housing alive is these ultra low, historic low rates, and they're including refis as sales. So don't be fooled. New ship orders sink as fear of future economic crisis grows. That's also on the hedge. As people starve and go broke and lose businesses, airlines are asking for another $25 billion in bailout money. This is sickening. The big four airlines in the past 6 years, and this is according to David Stockman, managed to spend $51 billion on stock buybacks and dividends when they only had $37 billion of free cash flow to fund these Wall Street pleasing distributions. They piled up their debts from $22 billion to $66 billion during the same 6-year period to keep the Ponzi scheme going. You know, one of these CEOs of one of these airlines, and I'm not sure which one it was, but this guy makes an annual $12 million a year. $12 million a year. And there they are with their silver tin cups, begging, not just begging, but threatening the government that if they don't get the money, that they're going to be laying off a massive load of people. I just wonder, are these CEOs going to take a pay cut? How about zero for a year, for 2 years? $12 million a year. You got pilots making over $150,000 a year, mechanics $75,000, flight attendants $50,000. I mean, unfortunately, this is business. Do we need all these airlines? Maybe somebody's going to have to take a cut. Maybe somebody's going to have to go out of business. Why should the taxpayer be on the hook for these airlines that have completely mismanaged their money, have borrowed tons of money and need more, and they're not making any money? So maybe we have too many airlines. Maybe we have too many pilots. Maybe we have too many flight attendants. I don't know. But At the end of the day, I know this. I shouldn't be on the hook for all this mismanagement. And if they can't make a profit, then maybe we need less airlines. I believe in capitalism, but what we're seeing here is crony capitalism when these CEOs of these airlines are making $10 or $12 million a year and then wanting the taxpayer to give them billions of dollars more on top of the billions we already gave them, and they still can't make a profit. They've completely mismanaged their money. They had no cash reserves. If you ran your little business, your restaurant like this, you would just go out of business and nobody's helping you, okay? And yet I just completely have so much disdain and resentment when these big companies can just cut in front of the line and get billions of dollars of bailout money and then be rewarded for it with $12 million a year salaries. Really disgusting. But look, reading all this and sharing it with you this evening, I can't express enough the danger that we are seeing economically and what's coming and why you better be preparing. And I'm going to continue to sound the alarm. I'm going to continue to do the best that I can to wake people up. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't give financial advice, but I'm sharing with you what I'm doing. I'm covering all my bases and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I've had to make sacrifices in my personal life. I drive an older car. I don't take vacations. I don't go to fancy restaurants. I don't stay at fancy resorts. I don't do a lot of things because I've had to cut it out in order to protect myself right now for what's coming, in order to have the money to buy a little bit of gold, to buy a little bit of silver, to buy a mining stock, to put some food and water away, to go out and train security. I've had to make sacrifices and cut things out. And I've had to, cut things out. I've had to cut people out in order to make these sacrifices because I know what's coming. And you're going to have to make a choice. Do you want that latte today? Do you want to take that weekend trip to Vegas? Do you want to go buy that new car? Do you want to lease that new car? Or do you want to protect yourself right now for what's coming? These are, choices that only you can make. And there's nothing wrong taking a vacation. There's nothing wrong driving a nice car or going out and buying a new TV or going out to dinner. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you can afford to do that. As long as you have assets put away, as long as you have preparations put away, and as long as you don't have to put this on a credit card. Anybody that has to put this stuff on a credit card or you're going to finance a vehicle for 6, 7, 8 years, this is stupidity. Buy yourself a used car, pay cash if you can, and use the rest of it to be putting assets away. I think that you're going to be happy that you did. And I think more so, your family is going to be happy that you put preparations ahead of debt. So I'm going to leave it there today. Have a phenomenal weekend. So much going on. Again, all this volatility, these melt-ups, what we saw happen in gold and silver today. These people who like to criticize me for telling people to buy gold and silver. If you bought gold and silver last year, you've done very, very well. You have lost no money. If you bought gold and silver 3 years ago, you did exceedingly well. They're never going to be worth zero. They may save your life. They may save your economic life down the road here. You're going to be happy that you had purchased them. There's no doubt about it. There is no risk owning real assets like gold and silver. And I don't think anybody is going to come back 5 years from now, 10 years from now and go, I shouldn't have listened to JB. I shouldn't have bought that gold and silver. You're always going to have it. You can pass it to your kids. It's God's money. It's got a 5,000-year history. And again, it may save your life at the worst possible time in this economy. So it's not a bad idea to have some put away. So I'm going to leave it there today. Have a phenomenal weekend. Preparation this weekend. Do something. Buy some canned food. Buy some metal. Buy some brass. Get out. Get a good workout in. Thank God tonight. Get on your hands and knees. Thank God for everything that you have. Because I'm telling you, there are people out there way worse off than you. And there are people today who think that this is just a joke what I'm saying, that this is just doom and gloom. This could never happen. I feel sorry for those people because it's happening right before their very eyes. And these are going to be the most unprepared people. These people will be taken by surprise, and they are going to be in a hurricane, in a tsunami without a life jacket. You do not want to be one of these people. Continue to heed the warnings. They're all over. The red flags are flashing red all over. The canary in the coal mine is dead. The bellwethers are warning you. Prepare right now because time is of the essence. Guys, have a phenomenal weekend. Have balance in your life, but make sure you do some preparation this weekend. And we'll talk very soon. God bless.